Om. 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 सहनौ अवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Okay, today's first topic is prerequisites to receive the ultimate solution. It means, if you think about the example, when we go for medical admission, you want to become a doctor, so you go to the medical university which provides medical science. Now they have got entrance exam, so which means they want to know that whether you are qualified to take medicines or not. Same thing is here for Bhagavad Gita. Prerequisites to receive the ultimate solution. The Bhagavad Gita is regarded as one of the most profound spiritual scriptures ever revealed to humanity. It provides answers to the fundamental problems of suffering, ignorance, and confusion that every human being encounters at some point in time in life. However, not everyone can immediately grasp the depth of its teachings or apply them effectively. See the prerequisite? However, not everyone can immediately grasp the depth of its teachings or apply them effectively. This is because the wisdom of the Gita is not accessible to just anyone. It requires certain qualifications on the part of the seeker. Even though Lord Krishna, as the divine teacher, possesses complete knowledge and the power to eliminate the truth instantly, he does not reveal the highest teachings to Arjun right away. Instead, he gradually prepares Arjun, guiding him step by step, ensuring that he is mentally and emotionally ready to receive the ultimate wisdom. This careful process highlights an important principle. Spiritual knowledge must be received with the right mindset and level of preparedness. Otherwise, it will not bring transformation. I repeat this. Spiritual knowledge must be received with the right mindset and level of preparedness. Otherwise, it will not bring transformation. Just like how medicine works only when the body is prepared. Divine wisdom bears fruit only when the mind is purified and the heart is humble. I will guide you through the four essential prerequisites that prepare one to truly receive and benefit from the universal solution, which is the supreme wisdom of the Bhagavad Gītā. First of all, the most important thing is, and we all are doing the same thing all the time. And I give the example of a teacher and a class. Let's say there are 50 students in the class. Teacher walks in, he has a half an hour's lecture, he delivers, and he leaves. If you give a blank paper to 50 students and ask them, what did you learn and how the teacher was? There will be 50 different versions about the same teacher, same subject, same thing he explained. And the most important thing is they do not, or in general, people, they do not receive the information as it is being delivered. They filter it beforehand before it comes to them. And that is the biggest drawback when you are listening something. You have to clear the garbage from your mind first. That is called Shravanan. And after that, then you sit back and then analyze what you heard is right or wrong. What did you find? Is it and you can accept that information or not? That is Mananan. Now we come back to our this thing. Now I'm going to use the analogy, the immunization process, to explain the first process type of thing or prerequisites. Just as the body is immunized to fight off diseases by injecting dead viruses, similarly, we can become internally immunized against the disease of sorrow and ignorance. But this immunity, this spiritual strength can only develop if we meet certain mental and emotional conditions. Now, let us go through the four sacred steps that prepare a seeker to receive the wisdom of Bhagavad Gītā. Now, prerequisite number one, recognizing the problem. Before we can find a solution, we must first accept that there is a problem. Many people do not realize the real cause of human suffering and ignorance. Instead, they focus on surface level difficulties, assuming that their temporary struggles, such as financial issues, career setbacks, or relationship problems, are the actual problem. Imagine a person who has an illness but does not know it. If they do not recognize their condition, they will never seek treatment. Similarly, unaware of the deeper problem in life. And what is that deeper problem? The endless cycle of birth and death, which we call samsara, and the suffering caused by ignorance, which we call avidya. People believe that gaining wealth, achieving success, or building relationships will bring them lasting happiness. And what is the lasting happiness? Sat Chit Anand. However, these things are temporary and cannot provide permanent fulfillment. From our childhood, we are conditioned to believe that our main concerns are school, career, and family responsibilities. No one taught us about spiritual things. These problems seem important at the time, and solving one may bring temporary relief. However, as soon as one problem is resolved, another one appears. Many people live their entire lives chasing temporary solutions, never realizing that true contentment cannot come from external achievements. It is often only after major loss or personal crisis that people begin to question their assumptions about life. When a tragedy strikes, such as the loss of a loved one, financial ruin, or serious illness, at that time, people start to wonder, is there something more to life? Why is there so much suffering? Is there a way to find true peace? These questions mark the beginning of real understanding, because now we started realizing that there is some problem. The initial and most important step in gaining true wisdom is to understand that the challenges and difficulties we face in life, although they may feel overwhelming at times, are not the root cause of our suffering. Instead, the real issue lies in the ongoing cycle of suffering itself, an unending pattern that keeps repeating throughout our lives. This cycle can only be broken or resolved when we experience an inner awakening or realization. It is through this awakening that we begin to understand the deeper truths about life, allowing us to step out of this cycle and find true peace and clarity. Let us see a few examples to understand. Number one, medical analogy. A person experiencing poor eyesight may ignore it at first. He believes he can still see well and refuses to visit a doctor. Only when his vision deteriorates significantly does he acknowledge the problem and seek medical help. Number two, many avoid health checkups due to fear of discovering hidden ailments. Similarly, people avoid self introspection to escape the truth about their inner suffering. Number three, imagine facing sudden financial ruin, the loss of a loved one, or a severe health issue. How would you react? If such thoughts make you anxious, it indicates that you have not yet understood the universal problem of suffering. So now the question is what to follow and how to implement it in our life. Engage in deep self reflection daily to recognize the transient nature of worldly achievements. Contemplate the inevitability of suffering and death, not with fear, but with an intent to understand reality. Study the lives of great sages who attained liberation to see how they transcended worldly achievements. So that was about recognizing that you have a problem. Now, the second prerequisite is desire to solve the problem. So once you have identified, now you should be ready to solve the problem. Recognizing a problem is just the first step toward resolving it. The more crucial step is developing a genuine desire to find a solution. Many people are aware of their struggles and suffering, yet they choose not to act. This inaction often comes from the mistaken belief that external circumstances will naturally resolve the issue over time. Merely acknowledging a problem does not lead to change. Action is essential. However, many individuals delay taking action, hoping that the problem will disappear on its own. This is particularly common when it comes to spiritual ignorance. Some believe that wisdom will come to them automatically, or that their current way of living is already sufficient for their spiritual growth. As a result, they remain stagnant and make no effort to seek deeper understanding or transformation. To illustrate, consider a person with poor eyesight. They might recognize that their vision is deteriorating but delay getting treatment, either out of fear of surgery or simply because they feel indifferent. In a similar way, many individuals acknowledge their inner struggles, such as anxiety, dissatisfaction, or lack of purpose, but fail to take meaningful steps to address them. They often assume that external changes, such as a new job, relationship, or material success, will fix their inner problems. However, true and lasting change can only come from within through conscious effort and self improvement. Developing a genuine and heartfelt desire to address a problem is an essential first step in solving it. This inner drive is crucial because without it, no amount of awareness or understanding about the problem will result in any meaningful action. Simply recognizing the issue is not enough if there is no motivation to take the necessary steps to resolve it. Real change begins only when there is a sincere commitment or will to make things better. And this commitment fuels the actions needed to find a solution. Now let us see few examples to understand it better. If a doctor diagnoses early stage cancer, immediate treatment is necessary. However, some patients delay treatment, hoping the disease will go away on its own. This delay can be fatal. Second, people know they will grow old, yet few prepare for the physical and mental challenges of old age. Similarly, despite knowing the impermanence of life, very few seek spiritual wisdom in youth. So, what to follow and how to implement it in life? Develop a strong yearning for truth by constantly questioning the purpose of life. Read scriptures and listen to enlightened teachers to strengthen the desire for self realization. Practice detachment from temporary pleasures to focus on the eternal truth. Now, the prerequisite number three, understanding that you cannot do it alone. Once you have the desire to solve a problem, that was the prerequisite number two. Now, the next important step is to realize that the solution is beyond your personal effort. True wisdom does not come from simply thinking about things on your own. It comes from learning under the guidance of a genuine teacher. Many people believe they can solve all their problems by using their intelligence and life experience. While these qualities are useful in everyday life, but they have limits, especially when it comes to understanding spiritual knowledge. The wisdom that leads to true freedom is found in sacred scriptures like the Vedas. However, to fully understand and apply this wisdom, one must learn from an experienced teacher. Some people hesitate to seek guidance because of pride. They may think, I have handled everything in life by myself. So why should I rely on someone else for my spiritual knowledge? However, this mindset can be a major obstacle, preventing them from receiving the divine wisdom they truly need. By recognizing that self help has its limit, one can open the door to deeper learning and transformation. Now, let us see a few examples here. Number one, people often try to operate complex devices without reading the manual. Only when they face issues do they consult the instructions. Number two, many successful individuals, despite their achievements, struggle with inner emptiness. Material success does not bring inner peace, proving that self effort alone is insufficient. So, what to follow and how to implement it in life? Cultivate humility, and recognize the limits of personal knowledge. Seek guidance from a guru who has mastered the scriptures. Develop faith in the wisdom of ancient texts rather than relying solely on modern interpretations. So that was prerequisite number three. Now we come to prerequisite number four, surrendering to the teacher. Now, actually, it is a very, very important surrendering to the teacher. The final and most crucial step in gaining the highest knowledge is to completely surrender to a qualified teacher. Without this surrender, simply being in the presence of a great teacher will not be enough to bring true understanding or transformation. Arjun had already completed the first three steps. If you remember chapter number 1 of the Bhagavad Gītā, he recognized his pain and inner turmoil. He sought a solution to his problem. He realized that he could not solve it by himself. So now he wanted the solution. He wanted the guru to explain him or solve his problem. However, he had not yet surrendered to Lord Krishna as his teacher. And Lord Krishna also, till the time he surrendered, he was listening to Arjun only. He did not say anything. This is why in chapter 2, verses 2 and 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna first rebukes Arjun before imparting the highest wisdom. Only after Arjun fully surrenders and accepts Krishna as his guide does the true teaching begin. So you have to surrender. You have to, whatever the teacher is saying, you have to believe in that with full faith. Don't just listen, filtering the information. So let us see two examples here. Number one, a patient must trust his doctor to undergo surgery. Doubting every doctor prevents treatment. Number two, many hesitate to follow a guru due to a conflicting interpretations of his scriptures. However, a true guru is known by his ability to transform his disciples' life. So now, what to follow and how to implement it in life? Number one, surrender to a qualified guru with faith and devotion. Apply the teachings with sincerity rather than questioning the teacher's authority unnecessarily. Live a disciplined life as prescribed in the scriptures to make oneself worthy of receiving the ultimate knowledge. The Bhagavad Gītā provides profound guidance for navigating the challenges of life and discovering true fulfillment. Yet, to fully embrace and benefit from its wisdom, there are four essential conditions that one must first meet. These conditions are vital in preparing both the mind and the heart to receive Lord Krishna's teachings with clarity and understanding. For those who earnestly commit to fulfilling these conditions, the Gita serves as a powerful tool for self realization, offering deep insights that illuminate the path toward personal growth and inner peace. By approaching its teachings with sincere faith and dedication, one can ultimately achieve liberation, moksha, and experience lasting eternal joy. And what is that eternal joy or lasting happiness, permanent happiness? Sat Chit Anand. Let us summarize the whole thing, the topic, whatever we have discussed today so far. When a disciple approaches a teacher, the teacher does not merely pass on information. The teacher transmits real knowledge born from direct experience and deep inner realization. But for this sacred transmission to happen, the student must come with humility, openness, and trust. What Lord Krishna calls faith and sincerity of effort. If the heart of the student is clouded with doubt, ego, or judgment, then the wisdom offered will not enter purely. It will be filtered, changed, distorted by the student's personal opinions, past experiences, and assumptions. It is like pouring pure water into a dirty vessel. No matter how clean the water, it gets tainted. If you truly wish to receive the light of knowledge as it is, come with a heart that surrenders, not in weakness, but in readiness. Trust does not mean blind belief. It means being open enough to allow transformation. Only when you empty your cup can the teacher fill it. In essence, the teachings of the Gita can transform one's life, but only when these foundational prerequisites are met. enabling the seeker to approach the wisdom of the text with the readiness needed for spiritual growth and enlightenment. I will repeat this again. In essence, the teachings of the Gita can transform one's life, but only when these foundational four prerequisites are met, enabling the seeker to approach the wisdom of the text with the readiness needed for spiritual growth and enlightenment. The second topic is I have picked it from verse number 9 of chapter 9. Bhagavan says, O Arjun, these actions do not bind me. I remain like one who is indifferent, unattached to these actions. I repeat again, it is verse number 9 of chapter 9, where Bhagavan says to Arjun, O Arjun, these actions do not bind me. I remain like one who is indifferent, unattached to these actions. These actions do not bind me. What does it mean? Even though the Supreme Being God performs infinite actions, creating and sustaining the universe, He is not bound by them. Now the question is, why Lord is saying like this? Because his actions are not motivated by desire. They are free from ego, free from attachment, and they arise from pure wisdom. Now, think about the same thing with the human condition. What happens? Wherever and whenever an egocentric action whipped by selfish desires is undertaken, gross and painful reactions must necessarily ensue. Now, let me explain you more deeply. When ego, that sense of I am the doer or this is mine, drives an action, the soul becomes entangled. The action is no longer just a function of life, it becomes a karmic knot. Imagine a man who acts not out of duty or service, but because he wants recognition, pleasure, or dominance. His desire whips him like a harsh master. He runs to fulfill it, unaware of the reaction that is quite waiting. Every selfish action is a seed. Every seed sown in selfishness blooms into suffering. See the difference between the Lord's action and the human being's action. Lord's actions are selfless. Human beings' actions are selfish. In the universe, every action produces a result. This is the law of karma. When an action is done with attachment, with ego, and with desire, it binds the soul to the cycle of pleasure and pain, of birth and death. That's why we keep coming and going from the world. The ego says, I want this, I did that, I should be rewarded. Attachment. But the self, our true nature, says nothing. It is silent, vast, and free. The ego, being small and hungry, demands more and more, and so it suffers. This is why selfish action results in gross and painful reactions. Gross means obvious material consequences, loss, conflict, stress, disease. Painful means internal unrest, which gives anxiety, guilt, fear, frustration. Now listen again to Lord Krishna. I sit as if indifferent, unattached to these actions. Bhagavan teaches the way of sattvic doer, one who acts without selfish motives. The wise man acts but does not cling to results. If you remember verse 47 of chapter 2, serves but does not boast, works but stays inwardly calm and free. Selfish without selfish motives and with selfish motives. Such a person becomes like the sun. It shines and nourishes all but claims nothing. Such a person becomes like the sun. It shines and nourishes all but claims nothing. It neither boasts when a tree grows nor weeps when a flower fades. Whenever we act from ego and desire, we tie ourselves in knots. From one transaction to another transaction to another transaction, like this, we are going one after another. Whenever we act from love, duty, or wisdom, we are free. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it for show or for truth? Do I want control or am I offering service? If your heart is pure, even sweeping the floor becomes sacred. If your heart is selfish, even prayer becomes polluted. Let this verse number 9 of chapter 9 and your insight guide you. What? Act but do not crave. That is a rule number one. Act but do not crave. Number two, give but do not expect. Rule number three, work but stay rooted in your higher self. This is the way of Lord Krishna. The actionless actor, ever free, ever blissful. If you follow this path, pain will no longer follow you. You will become like him, udasin, serene, amidst storms, radiant amidst shadows. So, what was the only thing we are discussing here? Without do any action, whatever you're doing, without selfish motives. So, the essence is of this verse number 9 of chapter 9, let your actions be an offering, not a transaction, because transaction gives birth to another transaction. Let your service be silent, not seeking applause. Let your life be a river flowing from soul to soul, without desire, without bondage. Then you shall taste the joy of freedom in action, which is the highest teaching of the Gita. Act without selfish motive. The only one principle. Now I will conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om.